Hey, welcome back, musical architects. How do we get from a basic idea to the final mix genre of a song? You can do it in many ways, of course, but for the sake of this video, I only gave myself a few hours to write the song. And then I was allowed only 3 instruments to create a basic demo. Once I knew that the demo, or the rough, was working, and the song structure and the melody and the lyrics were there, 90%, I started producing it, but not before. It's tough because we can easily hide behind sounds, but it helps you getting it done more quickly. Especially useful if you have to write a song for an assignment. This works, of course, not so well for electronic music, but it works really well for anything based around a real instrument like a guitar or a piano. The singer-songwriter's approach, if you will. So check it out. This is one way we can do it. If you're struggling with getting lost in the production, because we have so many options of tracks and instruments and plugins, then I recommend you trying this approach. Give yourself a chance to only write with a few instruments and have to finish the whole song. If you play an instrument, maybe write the song completely outside of the computer first. And when you feel it's ready, then go and record a first basic version. This is exactly what I did with this song, with one of my recent releases, Coming Home. I only wrote the song on guitar and vocal. And when I felt it was ready enough, I recorded a demo and I was only allowed to use 3 or 4 instruments and lay out the song so I knew it worked before I was allowed to use any production tools. This pretty much limited my focus and shortened my time span to write the song to a few days. But I didn't spend or waste any time on production. So in the beginning, it was just basically a guitar, which is a mic'd and a plugged in, and I added a simple piano and a bit of a piano texture just to create a little bit of an ominous atmosphere. And over that, I just sang part by part. Also, the first time I record a song, I'm not so concerned about my perfect takes. I just want to see what melodies work. And so if pitch is off or something like that, it's not so important. Let's go down into the water. Let's go down into the sea. Take a look. So since I only have a couple instruments, I can't vary too much from that. And there was a time when I was younger. Maybe the piano's picking up a bit here. A bit more movement. And then in the chorus, I go into strumming. I'm coming home. But the good thing is it feels quite complete to me already with 3 instruments. And that is a great sign that everything else could be fixed in production. But I don't use production as a crutch to make a not so well working song better. Try to fix the song first and you have a much easier time in the production afterwards. Because now you can play and it's just add-on, it's makeup, it's decoration, and it's not holding up the house, so to speak. So that was version 1, just a basic demo. And that allows me to sit back and make sure I have the right tempo, I have the right key for the voice, and anything else that pertains to the writing part. Next, we're going to start with the production. Let's look at that. We can take a song into many directions. And of course, it has to work within the genre you want to work in. In this case, this one is a bit more Western Americana to me than I normally do. And for that, I added textures that are a little bit more retro or use a bit of distortion. Instead of being purely clean, this was supposed to give it a bit of a grit. The piano doesn't sound perfect, more like an upright, little out of tune piano. And so a little bit of these weird textures in there to give it a bit of a grit. From before, just acoustic, we can hear that, yeah, it takes the chorus a little bit further, dynamically speaking. I also start testing drum sounds, and here is sometimes when I just pull in samples and layer them until I find textures and combinations I like. So I don't use one kick, but I use many kicks here until I find a combination. It's like mixing different colors in painting until you find the color that you like. Yeah, I wanted to have a bit more of a stompy marching drum feel than a regular drum kit. So, but that's just to try things and see where we want to take it. So this is but the mid part or the beginning part of the real production here. I still have to make decisions and see which ones now work for me, and then lay out the rest of the song with that. Okay, so we've written the song outside the computer, then recorded a demo with 3 or 4 sounds. I made sure the song stands, the writing is mostly done. And then I really focused on production. First, I collected some elements that I might like, tested some guitar sounds, some drum sounds, some texture sounds that go around the core, which is the guitar and the vocals and the piano. And now I laid out everything. So it's amazing to me every time that I can start with 3, 4 instruments, but then end up with hundreds of tracks. But what are these 100 tracks? Sometimes it's as simple as creating 8 or 10 different claps and then mixing them together. So here, all these tracks here, I mix down. And I really want to see one clap track for all the claps I done. The drums I left outside, but here too I have sometimes the 6 kicks that give it that particular kick sound that I want. I could mix them all together as well and create a kick stem, as I often do. So what is there? I decided to go a little bit more gritty. I like the acoustic version, but I also wanted to create one version where I'm going a little bit more out there. So it could be good for a bigger emotion, or maybe even like a trailer type of song, if you will. So what we had before is the acoustic guitar. I add a little bit of distortion to that as well. That's all nice. I let a little kick underneath, so take me down to the water. I add a bit of a string, tremolo, to give it a little bit of anticipation, drama. And then the second verse, I add more instruments. Here, there was a time when I was younger. It's a bit more arranged for sure. There was a time when I was younger. The backing vocals. Just wanted to create a little bit more a human element in there. Some drums. But the biggest influence here, I think, in change of scenery is the electric guitars. And here I just really made them dirty. I want to create a bit of a Western vibe here, like a... There was a time when I was younger. Which I think changes the flair of the song a bit. In the chorus, let's build this up. I have doubled my vocals with harmonies. Guitars, I thinned out because now the bass really carries the low frequencies, so I don't need all the guitar low frequencies. This is a real bass, but I also have a synth bass. I have textures in a retro style, like mellotones and B3s, that go together with the ahs that I sang, or oos. So that against the, or with the lead vocals. And let's add the drums. I have shakers and things like that. High frequencies, I have the clap track. And then the kick stomps, really. That gives it a little bit of impact. The second verse, or the verse after the first chorus, I always like to change a little bit so it doesn't feel like a copy and paste from the first verses. So what I come in with as a surprise is a bunch of violins. Give it a different feel. Not something I use often, but because of the Americana Western vibe, I felt it would be kind of a nice add-on. And as the nights are getting longer. And then the final chorus, Again, I don't want to copy from chorus 1 completely, so I added a couple more textures here. The second chorus has more drums. If you compare the drums from chorus 1, there's a bit of a marching drum behind it, and then on top of that I also have electric guitars giving it more of a grid. So here these guys give it a bit more dirt, and together you see the difference. Just a slight up from the first chorus, and then going back into "Will you keep me in your prayer?" A very mellow ending. So all based on these first 3 instruments, but then arranged to create a dynamic ride between the verses and the chorus. So if you want to try this out, if you get stuck, limit yourself, write the song outside, or create a demo that is only limited to a few sounds, and see if you can make the song work. And then you don't have to work on the songwriting part anymore, and you can really focus on the production. Stay creative, and I see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you want to dig deeper, feel free to check out my course, where I start from the very beginning of writing a song to the end of production and take you step by step through the process. Thanks so much and have a great day. No matter what, stay unapologetically creative.